everyone, it is great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Today we're going to make brown butter apple blondies. Now I don't think I've ever had these before, but with all the ingredients listed here, they sound pretty tasty. So what we're going to do first is brown some butter. That's why they're called brown butter apple blondies. And for the butter, we're going to use 1 cup for the blondies and 1/4 cup for the icing. Now it is saying unsalted. All I have is salted, so I'm going to skip adding a little bit of salt later in the recipe. Let's cut our butter into slices. We'll see if this skillet is big enough. The recipe says to use a light colored skillet so you can tell when the butter is starting to get brown. We're to melt butter over medium heat, so I'm going to wait till that starts to melt, then we'll start stirring it. Now we'll start stirring this for about 5 to 8 minutes. All right, I'm going to remove it. It has a little bit of a nutty smell to it. Okay, I have my 1/4 cup set aside for my icing, and I'll pour the rest of this in a heat-safe bowl. Then we're going to add our apples, maple syrup, and brown sugar cinnamon to this. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cook the apples in this same pan over medium heat. So you're going to need 2 cups of peeled chopped apples, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar or real maple syrup, not corn syrup, and 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we'll just cook these for about 3 to 5 minutes until they start to soften a little bit. I've got a mess on the countertop and I haven't hardly even done anything, folks. Crazy. I'm using Gala apples. The recipe recommends Granny Smith just because that's the person's favorite, but use whichever apples you like for this recipe. We're just going to turn the apples off and set them aside. Go ahead and preheat your ovens to 350 degrees and line a 9x13 baking pan with parchment paper and let it go up the sides too. I just put a little slit in the corner so it would fold. That'll make it easier to get the blondies out. So it's time to make the blondies. We'll need 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll want a spoon and level that. 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm going to skip the salt since I used salted butter, but right here, if you use unsalted, just use 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Let's whisk those together. In a medium bowl, let's whisk together 1 cup of our browned butter, our brown sugar, which is 1 2/3 cup. I'm going to break that up a little bit before I put it in there. Our 2 eggs at room temperature. And our 1/2 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. Let's go ahead and whisk that together. Make sure that brown sugar gets dissolved in there. Now you can use light or dark brown sugar. Now let's mix that in with our flour. Once you get that mixed together, then you're going to want to put your apples in there. Okay, once you get that all mixed around, we're going to put it in our pan. Then spread it evenly in the pan. All right, off to the oven it goes for about 35 minutes. You can check it with a toothpick to make sure that it mostly comes out clean. I baked mine for about 30 minutes. It's lightly brown. The toothpick came out clean, so I believe it's done. Now I'm just going to let it sit in the pan until it's completely cooled and let that sit on a wire rack. So I'll see you back here soon. It's just about totally cool, so I'm going to take the pan over here and just pick it up by the sides and let it cool the rest of the way just on the rack. So let's go ahead and mix up our icing. We'll use our 1/4 cup of butter, 1½ cups of confectioner's sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I'm going to put my sugar in here first. Butter's getting a little bit firm. I might stir that up a little bit. Or if you have to heat it a little bit, go ahead. But I think I can get it here. A couple tablespoons of milk. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, I think we're going to need just a little bit more milk to thin it out a little bit. Now, it says to drizzle, so I need more milk if I want to drizzle this, but I think I would rather spread it and keep it a little bit thicker, more so than a drizzle. If you like more icing, frosting, whatever you want to call it, make more. It is time for the taste test. Now the corner pieces are always the crunchiest. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, at the end they get a little dry. So for guests, just serve the inner pieces. Yep, I think the only changes I would make would be cut down the baking time. But other than that, I think you like it. So thanks for joining me here once again on Dee's Delights, and I hope you enjoy your brown butter apple blondies. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you real soon.